Day 7. See if I can get it right this time. No exercise. I either followed my heart or my laziness. I don't know, but it felt good, whatever I did. I think I went the right path. I only say that because I got a ton of stuff done today. All my housework, everything that I had planned, done. Tons of extra time. But I found myself having all this extra time, and my body was just enjoying that moment. And so I was doing impromptu meditation. That was unusual, but that was really peaceful at the same time. Just taking a short walk through the woods, things that I really enjoy doing and that have a lot of that slow me down. And so it felt good to do that. So I just went with it. And then tonight I even had so much time that I was able to go up to my favorite lookout spot and sit under the stars. And I can't even remember the last time. It would have been years ago that I just impromptu did that, or that I had the time to do it. So I feel that even though I didn't work out, I still got a lot of gain mentally. So I'm going to keep with it. I don't know necessarily, I'm not going to make a promise to myself that tomorrow I'm going to exercise. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Okay, so I think I have a pretty darn good excuse. But again, this is the whole process, right? We're not making excuses. So we'll see. I don't know. So today I want to talk a little about the conscious mind versus the unconscious mind, and what that means for your negative ego that we have. So all this terminology was new to me until reading these books. So I hope that some of you that don't know what I'm talking about right now kind of get an understanding after I'm done. So we all have emotions are basically our negative ego. It's our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind, we make conscious decisions to do something. When emotions come into our life, we jump on board with them and we follow those. And those are our negative ego. Those are like our first response emotions that we just go with, and we can't control them, or so we think at first. But once we switch our brains to realize that we are being drawn into an action because of our emotions, that's when you can start opening up that conscious mind. That's when you start saying, okay, I don't like how I'm behaving right now. Let me stop this and let me think, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And once you start evaluating the emotions that you're going through, that's when your conscious mind starts making the decisions and you live consciously versus with your negative ego. Hope that made sense. And so there's 7 things I want to focus on for myself that I wanted to tell you about that are very personal to me and my own personal journey. There's a great book, the one that I follow most closely, and that's Soul Psychology. And it looks like this. And you can order it on Amazon. Okay, and this is super beneficial to anyone looking to grow either spiritually or within themselves, or just become just a better person, or just educate themselves on how our mind works. This has been a really mind-opening book for me to read, and I have it, again, all marked up with notes and everything, and that's how much I go back to it. So for me, I still struggle with, I'm human, with my conscious versus unconscious mind and my negative ego. So 7 things that I'm going to personally tell you that I have an issue with are judgment. I'm afraid of judgment. And when I fear judgment, then I'm getting more judgment brought to me according to the law of the universe, right? So instead, I'm going to focus on spiritual disconcernment. So that, basically what that means to me is the more spiritualized that I become, the less I have to worry about judgment because I'm no longer concerned with it. I'm spiritually awakened enough that I'm not concerned with the thoughts and judgments of others. I feel like I'm getting there, but at the same time, this is such a radical life move that I can't help right now but think about what others are saying. Now, it is getting easier day and day as I talk on the camera and I make personal notes and I just contemplate life on a daily basis, and my mind expands and I just think, wow, this is just so short of time to even be concerning myself with the judgments of others. So that's number 1. Number 2 is self-righteousness. I find that being vegan and going on a trail to happiness, I tend to think that my way is kind of the only way. Not necessarily that I judge people, but at the same time, I really do have that feeling of self-righteousness, the feeling that I'm doing what's best for the planet and for others. And I do look at other people like, how don't you see this is the right way? Not even assuming that their way might be right in some aspect. So I'm going to focus on, instead of the self-righteousness, I'm going to focus on personal opinion. That is my personal opinion of something, and just simply make it that, not carry it on as to anything other. And hopefully that'll benefit me in the future and not make me so judgmental. 2 things tied to see. I'm correlating the 2, and I didn't even realize. Insecurity, self-doubt. The opposite of that is self-confidence. So I'm going to be having a lot more self-confidence. As I do this, as I go on here every single day, I'm gaining more and more confidence. I hear my voice sounding louder and more projected, and I'm thinking more clearly on the fly, and I think it's being portrayed. So I'm working on my self-confidence. Let's see, what else? Neediness and dependency. The opposite of that is preference and want. So for me, I feel that I always need to have my partner around. I'm pretty needy. I like to know that I have that security, and I'm going to have to really focus on my life, my personal wants, and my preferences, as opposed to needing those things. So that is a big one for me to work on, but again, working on it. Attachment kind of correlates to neediness for me because I have an attachment to the person that I'm needy for. So how can I break that? Involved detachment. And I read somewhere that like the highest level of spiritualism is being able to let go of like your mom or dad visually, and knowing that doesn't necessarily mean you're letting go on this plane, on this, what we're seeing right now in our lives physically. And knowing that that's their personal journey and this is your personal journey. So I'm, again, not there. And so that I look forward to having that level of enlightenment as I journey on. And the last one was laziness and procrastination. I hate to say it, but I think today might have fell into that laziness category. But again, I can't help but back myself up with, I'm feeling like I got a lot out of this today. A ton of relaxation. I'm super pumped. It's like almost midnight again, and I'm balls of energy and could speak all night. The opposite of laziness and procrastination is simply discipline. I need self-discipline. So I have to focus on that. And that's what I'm thinking that me coming to this computer every single night, that's new for me. That takes discipline. That is self-discipline. So there are thoughts in my mind every night like, oh, but I bet if I just film it tomorrow, I could do 2. And then what's going to happen is tomorrow's going to come and be like, oh my God, I have to do 2? Well, if I wait another day, maybe I'll just do them once a week. I literally can see myself doing those things. So if I don't put my butt in front of this camera, I'm falling back to all of everything that I've ever always done. And that's procrastinate. And I am just about the worst procrastinator I can think of. Like literally will put myself in just a corner until there's so much pressure that it has to be done, that's the only option that I have to do. And I love that pressure. That's how everything gets done. But at the same time, the stress that puts on me is really tremendous. So me coming here every day, me doing this is a huge representation of my self-discipline that's coming, and I'm loving it. It's kind of nice. I depend on myself, and depending on myself and knowing that my dependence is going to be met, and not allowing my procrastination to kind of chirp in my ear and say, no, go sit down, go to bed, do another thing of yoga and then video tomorrow. So really proud of myself on this. But those are the 7 things that I'm really focusing on as far as my conscious decisions versus my negative ego. Now, there's a ton of different ones to go over in this book if you were to look at it or get it and see it online. Those were just my 7 biggest ones. So do you have anything that you're working on or doing? If you did a self-evaluation, what are your 7 things that your subconscious mind controls that you can make a decision to consciously make an effort to change those things? So I'm going to leave you at that for day 7. And I will see you tomorrow on day 8 and let you know what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I'm pretty excited. I do plan to have that day to sleep in. So I'm not going to start my morning at 5:30, waking up with the meditation and yoga at 5:30. I'm going to wait till I actually wake up. It's going to be a lot slower pace of a day. But thanks for tuning in. I love you all. See ya.